to the market. Now today I'm going to be making a delicious frittata. It's got gorgonzola and sprout tops in it. It's going to be yum. So let's have a look at the ingredients. Here's my sprout tops. I've got a nice rustic clove, a red onion, some butter, garlic, eggs, and the star of the show is this yummy gorgonzola. Now you can use any greens you like for this, whatever's around, but I've got these fantastic looking Brussels sprout tops. Now if you want to, you can take off the individual leaves and then shred them nicely, or you can be a bit quick and lazy like me and just shred the whole thing. Now because I'm doing one pan cookery, what I'm going to do is just soften this down a little bit in the pan with a bit of butter and garlic before we add it to the frittata. So a little bit of butter in my pan, I'm going to put in my greens. And there you go. Some salt, not too much though because the gorgonzola itself is quite salty. Then I've got red onion, halve that, get rid of the skin. I'm just going to cut across the onion into quite thin slices. In goes the onion. It's time for the garlic, so flatten them down a little bit. Again, just keep it quite rough. I want to taste the garlic in there. I quite like a little secret nugget of garlic. In that goes a little bit of black pepper. Okay, time for the eggs. Now, a large bowl, 6 eggs, and a quick whisk. Okay, now this is my tip for you, and it's what I always do. I always put a bit of breadcrumbs in. It's my mum's thing, really. It's what she's always done. It's what I always do. So get rid of the crust, and then just break the bread into small pieces in. Now I'm just going to add my sprouts and my onion mixture into the egg. Tip that in. There we go. A little bit of olive oil then into my pan, and let's give this a good mix around. And because I'm going to cook it for quite a long time, what I don't really want to happen is for the cheese to stick to the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to put half of the mixture in, then I'm going to put some of the cheese in, then I'm going to put the rest on top, just using a big spoon to get something to create a layer across the bottom. There we go. So that's a single layer. And now to our gorgonzola. Now this has got to be my favourite cheese of all time. This is quite a young one, so it's really quite creamy. So I'm just going to get off a nice wedge, just break lumps of it on top of the egg. In it goes. Let's put the rest of that mixture on top, cover that cheese. I'm going to leave that to cook now, nice and gently for about 8 to 10 minutes till it's almost completely set. Now we need to make sure, so you can still, it's very wobbly still. I want it to be set almost completely through before we do the other side. Don't want it collapsing when I turn it out. Now I'm going to slip it onto the plate, pan on, and then invert it. So remember, at home, just pop it under the grill and make sure it's cooked all the way through. You don't need to bother about the inverting. Out it goes. Pan on. Hooray! Beautiful golden colour. And then let's just get it back on for a couple of minutes. So our frittata should be ready for turning. I'm a bit worried that I'm not going to get lucky twice in a row, but let's see. I've got a slightly smaller plate now, which I'm going to pop on. Ta-da! Now if you look, you can see that those breadcrumbs I put in, they've bolstered it and given it a sort of spongy quality. So it's got a fantastic texture. And there we have it. It's my sprout top and gorgonzola frittata, and it's going to be yummy.
And it's got that fuller flavour to it.
And you suddenly get a garlic bill through, so it's got a little bit of punch when it hits it.
I find it quite interesting, and I believe this is something that I would love to try again.
It's really good for kind of hangover food. The next day I'd definitely cook this at home.
So they seemed to like that, didn't they? So have a go at it. It is my sprout top and gorgonzola frittata, and it's delicious.